Our billboard could say, "Welcome to Wallace, but bring cash because we don't have an ATM." That's not right. That's not welcoming.
The city of Wallace is down to one bank, but by next year, they'll be down to 0, leaving residents driving miles for cash. And a bomb cyclone is causing issues off the west coast, with high waves and winds making it hard for ships to stay above water.
Windy and rainy weather across the inland northwest today. I'm tracking a bit of a break for the start of your work week, but more unsettled weather on the way for later in the week.
Good evening. It is great to have you here with us tonight. I'm Joshua Robinson, and a storm system known as a bomb cyclone is making its way toward the west coast. Experts are calling it a weather whiplash in the west after going from the worst drought in modern history to a record-breaking storm system. There are 30 to 50-foot waves off the coast of Washington and California tonight. A second storm system, which will hit the Washington coast, is being measured as the equivalent of a Category 3 hurricane, which could mean up to 80-mile-per-hour winds. Now, here in Spokane, we are starting to see the beginnings of a storm moving in tonight, but as meteorologist Michelle Boss joins us now to fill us in, not quite that extreme, but we sure do have something to look forward to into the next week, right?
Yeah, I think it's a net positive for us because we really need the rain. We've had some windy conditions today, but it certainly hasn't been extreme in the wind department. Let's check out the rainfall totals so far because really things have just been getting started. Spokane Airport now up to 700ths of an inch, 800ths in Moses Lake, Pullman 500ths of an inch, and just under 500ths in Sandpoint and Coeur d'Alene. But again, much more rain on the way for this evening and overnight. As we take a look at satellite and radar right now, we can see some light showers moving through the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area. Some of the heavier showers indicated by the darker yellows and reds across central Washington. So kind of zooming in there from about Grand Coulee to Wilson Creek, moving towards Harrington and Ritzville, Othello, and then even Washtuckness, seeing some of those heavier showers over the next hour or two. And again, we really need the rain. Not very cold air mass, so you got to go above 5,000 feet to see the snow, but we do still have a winter weather advisory in effect until early tomorrow morning for snow above 5,000 feet. That would include Washington Pass, portions of the northern Cascades, 7 to 12 inches of snow. And in the lower elevations, we do have the threat for some flooding, mainly over the burn scars in Okanogan County, or the Okanogan Highlands, the Okanogan Valley, those areas shaded in light green, where we have heavy rains over those previously burned areas. We could see some debris flow and some mudslides. And then a little bit more wind across far southeastern Washington, wind advisory in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. So could see gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour. Temperature-wise, things are pretty homogeneous. You can look across the region, upper 40s and lower 50s for temperatures. So nothing terribly mild, nothing terribly chilly either. And those temperatures are going to stay pretty consistent over the next several hours in the upper 40s and lower 50s as we continue to see that rain. Here's a look at the next 3 days. Getting a break on Monday, partly sunny, still a little bit breezy though, 56 degrees. Wind and showers return Monday night to Tuesday, highs in the lower 50s, and mostly cloudy on Wednesday, highs in the mid 50s.
New tonight, a new year usually means new beginnings, but for the town of Wallace, its chapter with the only bank in town is expected to come to an end, with the branch's closure early next year. KREM2's Cody Proctor spoke with community leaders about the upcoming closure, and she joins us now in the newsroom. Cody?
Wallace is a tiny town located right along Interstate 90, yet the U.S. Bank branch that's located in downtown serves people not only in Wallace, but in surrounding communities as well. However, come January 27th, it's all expected to come to a close.
Wallace is a proud town.
Quality of life is wonderful here.
But come early next year, that quality of life could take a hit. Earlier this month, account holders with the U.S. Bank branch in Wallace received a letter announcing the branch's closure. Here's the problem. It's the only bank in Wallace. Mayor Lynn Mogeson says she felt devastation while reading her letter.
How welcoming is it to come into a town and not have any money and not be able to find an ATM?
And she's not the only one upset by the news. Wallace City Council President Dean Cooper has several businesses in the community, including co-ownership of the Wallace Brewing Company.
Right away, you go to the big picture of what the impact is going to be on the town. You know, the financial institution is the anchor. It's no matter what, all the businesses and people in town are relying on that, especially when we're down to just one bank.
One particular worry Wallace Chamber of Commerce coordinator David Copeland has is the distance to the nearest U.S. Bank branch in Pinehurst, a round trip of about 35 miles, especially with the town's elderly population.
An old person traveling on a highway who needs to get their money out of the bank and can't do it. They have to do it in the wintertime and they wreck their car on an icy road.
At this time, city leaders and community members are working to either try to convince U.S. Bank to stay in Wallace or find a new one.
And hopefully they'll reconsider, but we're also checking our other avenues, because if they don't stay, then we want to have a bank in Wallace.
This is not a town that rolls over when something like this happens. We want to rise up
And KREM2 News reached out to U.S. Bank to confirm the closure. According to them, customers' banking methods have changed, with many turning over to digital and mobile banking, so they're reevaluating their facilities and consolidating some of their branches. In a statement, they say, quote, "We understand that the closure of any branch is a disruption for our customers and our employees, and we are working to make the transition as smooth as possible for all involved," end quote. In the newsroom, Cody Proctor, KREM2 News.
Taking a look at other top stories tonight, Coeur d'Alene police have pulled a car from the Fernan Lake, which belongs to a missing Idaho woman, Sharon Archer. They say a body was found inside. Police tell us that a person called the department to report something white off the boat docks, but it could only be seen when the sun hit it. The person saw posts on Facebook about search parties for Archer and decided to call in the object yesterday. When police arrived, they were able to locate the white 2013 Toyota Highlander about 150 feet from the shore. That car was last seen driven by Archer on September 28th. Police have not released the identity of the body found inside, and the case, including the cause of death, is still pending further investigation. One man is dead after a shooting in Moses Lake this morning. Grant County Sheriff's deputies responded to the area of Pershing Drive in the Larson housing area after reports of gunshots. When they arrived, they found a 27-year-old man on the back porch of the house. He was rushed to the hospital, where he later was pronounced dead. Witnesses say that there was an argument near the back of the house between the 27-year-old and 48-year-old David R. Hager. The argument resulted in Hager firing multiple gunshots, according to witnesses, and he then left the house. A short time later, deputies were able to talk to Hager and take him into custody. The shooting is still under investigation. And overnight, a cargo ship off the coast of Victoria, British Columbia, caught fire. The ship is known as the Zim Kingston. A Canadian Coast Guard spokesperson says that they believe the fire was started due to damage to 2 containers carrying hazardous materials. Tugboats worked to spray the cargo ship down in attempts to cool the hull, but due to the dangerous chemicals on board, no water can be put out on the actual fire. 16 people were evacuated from the ship and were taken to Victoria's Ogden Point by the Coast Guard Saturday evening. And if you were wondering, this is the same ship we reported to you last night that lost 30 to 40 cargo containers this weekend. The Coast Guard is keeping an eye on the containers, as they can be seen in this video right here from above, floating off the coast of Vancouver Island. The containers were lost due to the rough seas caused by the storm system we've reported right off the Washington coast. And of course, that continues to bring in strong winds and rough seas. The ship was on its way to Vancouver from South Korea. Still to come tonight, we are less than 2 weeks away from the newest election to decide the fates of school boards and city councils across the Inland Northwest. After the break, we're going to follow the money for this year's Spokane Public School races.
I'm Tom Sherry. We begin tonight with breaking